welcome to Revolucion, a Hispanic Heritage Month 2022 virtual event. I am your host, Rafael, aka the Latin Babbler, and our guest today is a writer, director, entrepreneur, a digital storyteller. He's a former writer-producer for BuzzFeed's Latinx digital brand Perolike, and is founder and CEO of production company Hype Media House and social media brand coaching program Self Hype. Welcome to the show, Eli Vazquez.
Hey, man, that was the cleanest intro I've ever had, I think, ever. Like, I have so many slashes, and that was the smoothest, like, I'm going to hire you from now on just to do the intros.
We'll do intros for all the production stuff, all the movie intros. I don't have movie voice. I got more like cartoon voice, but it'll still work.
I love it. Happy to be here, man.
Yeah. No, it's great to have you. We're going to have a great discussion, especially, Hispanic Heritage Month. We're trying to represent. One of those representations is you're a proud Afro-Mexican or Afro-Mexarican, to be specific. I love the diversity than just even saying that, because it's so so good.
I know. So, it's funny. Like, my family is it's a very Midwestern thing to be Mexican and Puerto Rican. Usually East Coast Puerto Rican, West Coast Mexican, Midwest makes sense that we got the
East Coast right behind you, right there.
Yeah, I see Dominican. It. Yeah, that makes sense for East Coast mix. That makes sense. I love it.
So very cool. I have a question because I was on your LinkedIn and you gotta shed some light on this. So you're the oldest of 10 siblings, and we'll get into that.
Right.
But according to your LinkedIn profile, it says you lived or grew up in a haunted house in Hood Deep in Chicago, and let your mom down because you didn't become a priest. Is that a joke on your LinkedIn profile, or is that like factual?
I think you're making me realize I really need to update my LinkedIn profile. Like, I was like, do I really have that on my the most professional app you could have? No, it's all true. Yeah, I always tell people, like, I get my comedy from my family being the oldest of 10, but also in my childhood, growing up in the hood, I had like gang member like neighbors that their house was getting shot up on Tuesday. And then I had a ghost in my house that would be moving shit and turning the TV off and on Wednesday. So I was like dodging bullets and ghouls like left and right while dealing with a bunch of crazy siblings. And on top of that, my mom, when I got baptized as a kid, the priest held me up Lion King style to the church and announced that my destiny was to be a priest. And I swear one tear went down my mom's eye because she thought that was like my destiny. So now I'm a filmmaker. So now she thinks I'm going to be like the Latino Tyler Perry and make like Jesus-based movies and like, change the game that way. But after my last film, I don't know. I think she may have given up hope. We'll see. Yeah.
That is crazy. I actually thought, I thought maybe it was a joke. I was like, the way he has it up there, it may have been like satire or something like that. That's crazy though.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. I know it sucked. Like I want to tell like a movie just like of like Ghosts in the Hood. You always see ghosts of like our
Ghosts in the Hood. That's a good title for it, though.
It's like brown people are ghosts. Like Latinos are the most like spookiest culture ever. Like we got our grandmas like knocking stuff over, the evil eye, like all like they're around us always. So it's like
and my deal.
Yeah, right. We need to diversify the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? Let's gotta get some representation there. So,
all right. So I got to ask you, because I had mentioned the 10, the 10 siblings. What was it like growing up with that many siblings in the household?
Dude, it sucked. I mean, it was like, I was the only child until I was like 6, and that was sweet. Like my parents had me when they were like teenagers. So my dad was 17, my mom was 19. So that means my grandparents were in their 40s and their hips worked good and they had energy. And they just showered me with gifts. And then the kids started popping off like crazy because my mom was really religious. She found Jesus. And, the first thing your Latino neighborhood priest is going to tell you is, any sort of anti-baby is bad. It's a sin. So my mom took that to heart, and kids were popping out maybe 2 or 3 times a year somehow. I couldn't keep up. It was just ba, 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 ba. And then I became the oldest of 10. So Christmases and all that turned to like me with just a gift card.
That had to be. You're just getting one sock.
Fighting over hamburger helper. It's just like it's hard out here, man. But yeah, that was the life.
That is crazy, bro. That is I can't even imagine it. Like, I have one brother, and it was tough for my mom. She was a single mom, so I can't imagine what it's like to have like nine other, or is it nine other siblings that you guys turn around. It was like having around
Dude.
just in. How big was this house? First of all,
It wasn't big. Again, we're in a haunted house in the hood. Where I was like, my mom needed so much help. She probably like asked the gangbanger members, like, "Hey, can you watch like
oh
Eli
my
for a bit,
goodness.
for a little bit? You know, he'll roll some joints or something. You know, just like I just need some help. You know." But nah, it was crazy because yeah, I was the oldest, so that means I was the third parent. So I was changing
Yeah.
diapers, I was babysitting, I was like doing all that crap. I mean, I remember I dislocated my knee in like wrestling, and I came back and I could only like hop on one leg. My knee was literally out of place. And there's stairs that go up to the kitchen. And I get there and I'm like on crutches. And my mom's like, yo, go do the dishes. And it's on the second floor
Oh,
up the stairs. I'm like, Mom, I can't walk. I'm on one knee. Or like, yeah, well, I don't know. Figure it out. The dishes need to get washed. It'll just like. And now my siblings are all soft and they don't wash anything or clean anything. And I was just back home.
they got spoiled. They got spoiled. As
man.
as
They
the
got
family
spoiled.
progressed, they all turned around and benefited from the process, so to speak.
Dude, seriously, they get to go to Disney World now. I had to watch the VHS tapes that, like, if you were going, they would send you something in the mail, be like, "Oh, get ready for your Disney trip," and it's all these white families all happy. I wasn't going,
Yeah.
but that's all they had, so they just gave me the DVD, and I would watch it over and over again, like pretending I was there in that white.
I know what that's like, though. I didn't get to go to
Yeah.
Disney until like I was 40. What is it? 43, I think is what it was. That was the first time I had gone to Disney. So for me, I was like a little kid sitting there, just
Dang.
like, bro. And I took my old, my old ass kids that they were all like 20 and something. We didn't get to go to Disney either when they were younger. So it was just like it was like three kids all over the age of 20 and 40 having fun in Small
Wow.
World.
That's amazing. I love that. But that good on you, man, because that's like an achievement. You know what I mean? Like you hustled, so you get to take your kids. You know, even though they were like 25, probably getting drunk at or whatever. But they got to experience it. That's really dope, man. Congrats on that. Yeah.
It was funny watching them on the Dumbo ride. They're all a bunch of.
Just like,
I couldn't get on it. That ride would just fall apart if I sat on that shit. So, all right. So, amazing career going into the film industry. Like, at what age did you start having thoughts about pursuing that specific field?
Yeah, dude, I'm really lucky because, like, I everyone's on their own timeline. First off, like, I was blessed enough to know exactly what I wanted to do at like 18. Like, I was a super shy kid, didn't have any friends. Actually got punched in the face over an iPod in that hood ass school I was going to, and my mom was like, "We're getting the heck out of there." I lived the Fresh Prince life. I got one little fight. My mom got scared, and we're moving out of the hood. We're going to like the nice area and all that. And from there, they had a TV class, but I was too scared to go. And what really pushed me was, we always hear that life is short, but we don't really get it until we experience it. And my sister at the time, she was 7 years old. She got diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia. And that was actually the first time we got to go to Disney because that was, give kids the world, make a wish, all that. Thank God she beat it. She's 18 now. She's an asshole, slams doors, teenager, cusses, all that. We love her for it. We love her for it. But at the time, I was like, holy crap, life is short. I just got to go for it. Because I was always artsy. So I remember I took the class and my life changed forever. I was in my mom's garage. We shot a music video cover for Check It Out by Beastie Boys. But the concept was me and my two friends were Ghostbusters, and we had to answer a call of a ghost in a girl's garage. So we went to Goodwill. We got the full suits. We broke up a bunch of old Xboxes and PlayStations and like put together the backpacks. And then we had my mom's vacuum cleaner tubes, and we stuffed it with fireworks. So we would shoot it like we're Ghostbusters, and we're running around.
Goodness.
Yeah, we're like downtown, small town Indiana, just like
you could have just gotten yourself some Roman candles, like.
Yeah, but we put the Roman candles in the tube, so it looked like we were shooting. And so it was a good old time. But I was so stressed out. But I was like, at 18, I was like, at 17. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So after that, I went to film school, and I just really busted my ass, and I got the opportunity of BuzzFeed like 6 months out of college. So I was really blessed out of that as well. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I mean, you had to come from Chicago to LA, right, in order to be able to take that?
Yeah. So everyone listening, if you don't know or if you think it's going to hurt your chances, just lie. your best bet is just to lie and just say sure, because they were like, hey, you live in LA? I'm like, yes. I had a whole apartment in Chicago. I was not living in LA at all. So they were like, yeah, you live in LA, right? I flew there to do the interview, and I just said I lived there, and I used the fake address, and then they're like, okay, great. And then they called me like 2 weeks later. They're like, hey, can you start in a week? And I'm like, yes. And I was in Chicago. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. So yeah, I like sold everything. My mom had a pizza party celebrating. I found someone to take my apartment. I just dipped off in a suitcase.
Yo, what if their response would have been by mail and that fake ass address was where they were sending that?
Maybe there's some guy that has like an acceptance letter and a BuzzFeed sweater. I don't know that we don't know about.
He's got the welcome pack.
Yeah, he has the welcome pack, and he's like, "Why? I keep getting mugs and stuff, and corgi sweatshirts and all that." But yeah, no.
So what was your experience like at BuzzFeed or perolike?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, when I started, it was before perolike even existed. So it took a lot of amazing, dope ass people like Jenny Lorenzo, Eli Vazquez, a lot of like amazing human beings. And I'm sorry, I can't think of everyone's names right this minute, but they really busted their asses to force BuzzFeed to be like, yo, this is something that's real. This is something that's dope. This was back when like, even if you said, yo, there's going to be a digital channel for Latinos that is bilingual and American Latino content, like that, it wasn't there before.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah. It wasn't a thing. And then Remezcla popped off and Me Too popped off, and then perolike was in the mix. So I watched the growth from afar, and I did original BuzzFeed content for the first couple of years, and I learned so much. It was dope. And I learned the power of social digital content, because at the time I was a film student. I just wanted to make movies. So I didn't really take it seriously. It was just like a job, and I was going to have student loans. But I really learned the power of social and digital video and content. And then from there, I got to join the perolike team, where at first I didn't feel like I belonged. You know, it was struggle because I can't speak Spanish. I can't dance for shit. And, you know, yeah, that's how you...
Did that change? Has that changed since then?
A little bit. A little better. I can move a little bit. But yeah, it was just like I didn't feel like I fit. And especially being Afro-Latino, and this was before you were even saying the word, I didn't really knew where I fit in the mix. Because I was third generation. And yeah, it just felt off. So it took a lot of like self-love and personal development on my end to be like, oh no, being Latino is not something you try to be. It's just who you are, and your experience. It's a party. Valid,
like that.
Right?
That's literally what you are. So
yeah, exactly. So I started making content on just that. I'm not feeling Latino enough. I'm not feeling accepted. Being third gen, and the content blew up. It was great because other people like, yo, I fucks with this.
I can relate with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could relate with it. And then I was able to join the team, and dude, they were amazing. You got to think, you have this whole table of Dominicans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Salvadorians from all walks of life, all loud as hell in a tech company full of white people. It's the best. Like, we were the party table, you know, and it was a beautiful experience, and I love every one of them, and we're still homies to this day. And yeah, I love perolike. It was a beautiful institution that helped me get to that next level. So
because we're talking about the next level now, that you've been doing producing and you know, doing a lot of the film producing there. Is that what encouraged you like to go back into, you know, I'm going to use now the film side and start creating that?
Yeah. So the goal was always to be a director, writer, director. That never went away. I think I got distracted with the digital content. I wanted to make sure I was doing a good job. I wanted to make sure I got it and then get back on the film train. And I knew perolike would be a good resource because Latino Hollywood is very small and everyone knows everyone. And I knew there would be a good way to also like meet people and they could see my work. And so I was able to make that transition and do that. And also every chance I had, I would make something that was scripted. I would make something that feels and looks cinematic because that was my style. That's who I was. And so that never went away. And then as the last couple of years went towards the end of perolike, I really, again, realized life was short and I had to go hard in the paint with this film stuff because you got to be committed. And I was able to build my coaching program. I was able to build other things that I really loved. But that film thing is like, man, I have to fill this. So
it's still grabbing you, man. Yeah. Exactly. It's one of those things like when you got a passion, I don't think a lot of people understand that when you got a passion for something, man, it just swallows you.
Exactly. 100%. You get it. Like it's like eating. It's like breathing. It's like
Yeah.
I don't
Like
care
if
if I
you're
make a
not doing it,
dime.
you're miserable about it, man. Like it's just, I don't know.
Exactly.
Just like you have like this emptiness inside. Like if you
Exactly.
feel like you're being pulled to do it, and if you don't do it, you're just not happy until you actually do.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people too, man. You get it. Like you're in the game with me where it's like if you are living on a floor and there's not you're making a dime, but you get to act or you get to make something and that
Yeah,
fulfills you, that's how you know this is for you. Because it's
exactly.
insane to do this stuff. It's insane to be creative in general. You have to do it. You need to do it. You know, it's not like, oh, I want to get some clout and whatever. And it's like there's no way you're gonna stay in
Were
it.
your parents very supportive of it? I always
I
ask this question to everybody because this field is so rare for Latinos. Like, so, like, were your parents jumping on when you first started and everything, or?
hell no, no, no. My mom, no. She, I think my mom was more safe. Like she, like
Yeah,
just like a lot of other Latino moms, she's like, yo, doctor, lawyer, priest.
yeah.
Uh, you know,
Everybody who answers the same question answers the
yeah,
exact same thing. Lawyers, doctors,
exactly.
things like that.
Exactly. And at first, when you're younger, you're frustrated and you're angry and you want that support. And then later in life,
Hmm.
where you kind of get perspective, it's like I get it. It's like safety. You just want your kid to
Yeah,
be safe. My dad, on the other hand, was very much like go for it, go for it, go for it. He's like, dude, just go to LA, just figure it out, just see what happens. So he was a big push on me on the later end of my life to just go for it. So it was nice to have that. And then once they start seeing that you're doing well and they have something to brag about, that's when they start,
then they
getting
got
it.
the.
Yeah,
I was the opposite though. All my kids are creative. So my daughter is here in LA. She's a micro influencer slash actress, and she does her thing. She does really well. She was actually going for a psychology degree. And I went up to her one time. She was on stage. She was doing a rendition. She was actually playing Fiona on her college campus for Shrek the Musical, and I pulled her aside that night, and I'm like, "Are you sure this is where you want to be? Because I mean, you look the happiest whenever you're like on that stage." I'm like, you should probably be doing this for the rest of your life if you feel that that's what you should be doing, And then my other daughter's a painter, so I mean, I've been kind of pushing the arts because it's like they have a passion for it. Like this is what they want to do. So for me, like, who am I to push them towards a way that they're not going to be receptive of? It's
I love
safe, like
that.
you saying, but for me, it was like you can see it in their eyes when they're like shining over something. And I just think
Yeah,
like, it's important to kind of support that.
dude, that's beautiful, man. And you have no idea the impact you're making, like, because I wish I had that, and I think if I think it's a disservice to have that friction or resistance towards your kids if this is something they want to do. If you just propel them and push them forward to give them the best effort, even if they fail and it's not for them, it's okay. They'll find something else that they'll like enjoy or like. But I've seen kids or even people in their careers that had that support really early on, and it's a world of difference. And it's this wall that you have to go through that, am I allowed to be here, should I be here? But with your support, they were able to just go right through those walls, and that's amazing
Yeah, and I knew that. Look, I knew those were going to be tough fields. There's a lot of talk about the starving artist and the starving actor and the actor that has 16 jobs and stuff like that, and is getting through. And what I told them is like, look, if you're going to do these type of fields, you just got to give it 130%, regardless of what result you're getting in the beginning. You just got to keep grinding because it's one of those fields where longevity and consistency is going to be what propels you through this thing. So it's and they've wildly successful on it, and everybody who I know who's really passionate about what they do in this field, wildly successful. Like they're kind of like, look, yourself. I mean, look, we're talking about you left, but like you're now the gift is shining through to 2018. You become a fellow for the Hola Mexico Film Festival and Tomorrow's Filmmakers Today program, and then in 2021, NHMC what is a screenwriting fellow.
yeah.
And then the most recently, which is where I met you, you were at La LIF, so the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival, where they created an Afro Latinx, film inclusion, which is like really cool. And that's where your film Bodies Will Tumble and Roll. It's like a finalist, or they were one of the finalists on that. So what was your experience with to find that out? Like when they reached out and they were like, "Hey, by the way, this film is in. It's going to be one of the finalists." Like, walk me through that.
Man, I mean, first off, I want to say like everyone that's listening, like of the culture, like the time is now. I know we're nowhere near where we need to be, but this is the best time to be a creative of color because there are so many programs more than ever. The fact that there's an Afro Latino program, anything that exists, is so validating to who we are, and we're at the frontier. We have a lot more ways to go, but we're at the best frontier right now. So like I tell everyone, it's free to apply to these programs. Anyone could do it. So like don't be afraid to jump in because so when I got per your question, I applied the year before with the idea I had in like college, and I didn't make it. I was a finalist, but it made such an impact on the head of the program that he got lunch with me and he's like, "Don't stop. I love this idea. Let me know how I could support it." And I was like, "Dude, if this idea from college could go this far and make this a much of an impression, like I have even better stuff now." So I made a film, Quinte to Infinity, that year that I didn't get it, and then I applied again with another idea, and with Bodies Will Tumble and Roll. And then I remember I was at my mom's birthday in Florida. We're all getting drunk off tequila, and I was like, I'm a digital nomad. All the work I do online is online, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be out of the country for like 6 months. I'm gonna be in Latin America, get better at dancing, and then my Spanish. I'll be in Latin America for like 6 months, and I'll just focus on that, and I'll write and do all that. And then I got the email, and I'm all turned up at a cantina somewhere. I was just like, "Oh my god!" I ran to the bathroom. I sat on the toilet, hyperventilated. Then I walked out and told my whole family, "I got it." They're like, "Woo, let's celebrate!" But like, as a filmmaker, I have to make a movie in 6 months. All I have is just an idea on a sheet. So I'm freaking out. Like my buzz went completely down. So she's there. Everyone's like, "Relax, Eli, relax." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, sure." And then right when we got back, I the first call I made was Lauren Nichols, my producer. I was like, "Dude, we got it." And she's Afro Latina, amazing producer. And I was like, "Let's do this." She's like, "Hell yeah, let's make it happen." I just need to feel somewhat secure that we have a plan. And yeah, we wrote the script, and we had mentors all the way throughout the process. And Lalif was amazing. It gave us $20,000. We were able to premiere at the Chinese Theater, sold out crowd, and yeah, worked with amazing human beings in Chelsea Rendon. And yeah, it was an insane, wild experience that I absolutely loved. The end product and seeing the Chinese theater filled with us and just shouting and laughing and supporting is beautiful.
Yeah, insane. La Leaf was insane for me. So I mean, it was my first time being at a festival at all. Like
really?
Yeah, well, this is the first time I'm doing hosting at all. I'm a computer geek. I've literally spent my entire life designing websites, doing all kinds of digital artwork and this and that. No, I'm not kidding. And the only reason I'm here is because of a dare that a cousin made to me 2 years ago when the pandemic was starting, because she knows that I can't shut the hell up. And she was like, "You would be really good at a podcast. Why don't we just create one as a family, as to kind of like break the time of the pandemic?" And I fell in love with it. I was just like, "Nope, I got to do this for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to do. If it's not on radio, it'll be my own digital version of it."
I love
I
it.
didn't realize we would create a whole ass media company out of it. But, aside from that, it was one of the best experiences, or this has been one of the best experiences of my life. And when I went to La Live, it was like double down, so to speak, because I went on the year that they included, the indigenous inclusion, the Afro-Latino inclusion. They had, I think it was like 50% of all the creators that were there were women this year. And so I was on cloud nine. I mean, we were doing interviews. I think it was Sylvia was the one that did the interview with you from that program. I mean, we just had a blast. Don't get me wrong. It was stressful and it was long because we were there from morning to night. But just to see, to quote the title of, one of my friends who has a great song, it's like, "All the pretty colors," is literally the way I can describe the way La Leaf was. And it was every single representation that you can possibly think of. And for me, I was like, man, when we get to Hispanic Heritage Month, I want to do that. Like, I want to have a virtual version of that. I want to put up panels that talk about all the different types of inclusion, all the different types of discussions from the Latino community. Like for me, it was such a big deal to kind of emulate what they had started at that festival. Cause like all the other festivals I heard of were just, I just went to a festival with my daughter where she was in a short, and it was just the complete opposite. There was barely any Latinos there. She was one of the few, you know what I'm saying? So for me, La Leaf was kind of like, it felt like home. Yeah. If I could say that in the best way. It's so crazy. You were talking about the numbers. I'm gonna spew numbers. I love doing this. People are gonna be bored. So I'm looking at stats. We use the Latino Data Collaborative. They provide some of the best stats ever. We make up 19% of the population here in the United States. And yet, for whatever reason, we're 2.9% of the show leads, 5% of movie leads, 2.5% of all directors, 4.5% of writers. I'm spitting these out the best way I can.
Wow.
And then when we go through the Afro Latinos, which is something that you're very, very vocal about, only 6 Afro Latinos worked as leads or co-leads across a 13-year time frame. I want people to think about that, considering how many of the movies have been out, where we've even had, movies that make us look like terrible, where the gangs and mafias and this and that. Only 6%, or only 6, not 6%, 6 overall Afro Latinos have been leads or co-leads in a 13-year time frame. When I give you those numbers, Eli, what goes through your head?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, it's the disappointing, figured kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's, especially Afro-Latino, because it's like, it's like I've been like watching movies forever since I was a kid. Yeah. So I remember when our main representation was like Antonio Banderas. And exactly. And he's like from Spain. He's Spanish. It's like our representation was like 2 people from Spain for like 20 years. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised, because it's like they care that little to be authentic. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you speak Spanish, whatever. Stop complaining. Just put them in here. But it's. I think what excites me is the next 10 years. And it's like, unfortunately, you have to kind of play the long game with this stuff. But fortunately, we live in the digital age where certain issues and conversations are pushed way more in the forefront, because individuals have more power of the narrative than in the past, because there was very small sources of information and it was very controlled. So now there's this collective conversation happening that is pushing these narratives and pushing this social pressure with studios, with all that. And I am optimistic and excited, but unfortunately not surprised of the past. But I want to see this data in the next 5 years and to see if there's an actual change. I've talked to a people that are a little above me, that's working in the rooms, that are doing the things, and they do verbalize that this is a concern, and they do feel that this is a door that's opening way faster than it's ever been done before. So for everyone listening, there is opportunity to be had. Let's keep pushing that door open,
So based on what you're hearing, though, you're kind of hearing that we're starting to see the change. Like we're going towards an upward trend. Obviously, it's not going to be overnight. We're not just going to start taking over movies overnight, but at least in a way that's in a faster pace than us waiting for the next West Side Story, waiting for us to be able to kind of like represent our culture, where like the entire cast isn't somebody else playing Latinos.
Exactly. I think we are more immediately moving away from the world of white people playing us. That Twitter will burn the film to the ground. We know that is not going to be held accountable. And the Latino power is way more vocal than ever, because of the digital age. Yeah. I remember like in the 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, that it was like white, black, and then Latino, and then they're kind of like everybody else. Like there's like their vocal power wasn't as strong.
And we were compartmentalized. We were like the roles were very precise to the maid, the butler, the the this and that, the the drug dealer, all that stuff.
Right. So it's like they were able to get away of not having to listen to us, and now they have to. because now everyone cares. The beauty of now is that we have white guilt. We have white
guilt.
women very concerned about people of color. The amount of times I had conversations and I felt like an animal that was extinct. It's a little bit of an eye roll, but I'll take it. Okay, I'll take all the white guilt smoke if that means pushing us forward, because we need everyone to care, not just
That's
us.
a good way to put it, though. Like, because it does feel like nobody knew we were here. Like all of a sudden, we all rose up like cabbage from the fields and just all of a sudden started walking in place. Like, no, like we've been here this whole time. Like, what, it's everybody else who's kept us from being able to do that. That's crazy. So tell me about Bodies Will Tumble and Roll. Tell me a little bit about the film.
Yeah, well, the film is a short comedy horror thriller. It's about inner city black and brown cheer squad. They're super dysfunctional, and the coach says enough is enough, and they take them to a cabin in the woods to sort out their issues. And all hell breaks loose when the coach goes missing, and the team needs to learn to come together to save her from serial killers in the woods. So it's your classic American horror story flipped on its head. And I always thought it was dope. Like, I always say this movie is like Bring It On meets Tropic Thunder into one. And
that's a good collide. That's a good collide right there.
Yeah, with the tone of Shaun of the Dead. So I wanted to really have fun with this genre, this classic American genre, really diversify it. But it's really fun on paper, but what it really dives into is the interpersonal conversations and coming together in the Latino community, where it's the main characters that are butting heads is a light-skinned Mexican with straight hair and an Afro Puerto Rican with really curly hair. And these are teenage girls bumping heads. We have a girl that's insecure because of her identity and doesn't speak Spanish. We have a white girl who thinks she's Latina, but she's not. So it's like all these different diaspora of the community, and really with the lesson of, in order to make change and get things done, we all have to come together. No matter who you are, what we are, where we come from, what color you are, what generation we are all Latino X. And that's really the message I was trying. That is a part of that film, that you get that sisterhood and that community working together.
How's it going trying to get it mainstream? I mean, are you able to get, once they get out of the festivals, you think it's something we'll see, at AMC's?
Oh man, that's the goal, right? My goal with this thing was, like, I knew my film was going to be different, and I'm the oldest of 10. Majority of them are little sisters. Like, I like to make dope films that are fun, that you're gonna see like the trailer and be like, oh shit, we got to go see that. It's crazy, and then you're gonna get something out of it. You're gonna get a deeper message out of it, So I want to entertain my little sisters in the Midwest that are gonna go see themselves, but also learn about themselves a little bit too. So I knew that film was going to be different. My goal with the process was, one, I wanted to make people laugh, escape from the reality of the world. We're talking about colorism, but in a comedy, to give that escapism. And then two, I wanted people to say, I want more. So if there was, and the two things I was able to accomplish was people were laughing their ass off. And people
were definitely laughing their ass off.
and people want more. They want more, and that's the excitement I want. So the beauty of this La Live program is that it puts you in rooms that you probably wouldn't have if you didn't have the opportunity. So I'm meeting with managers, I'm meeting with agents, I'm meeting with people that are like, do you have a feature of script of this? Do you have an outline of this? And so that's really the mission, is to use this as a proof of concept to get the green light to make that feature.
Yo, so Netflix, pick this shit up. This should be a series. This should be a series. And I don't mean the one that you canceled after one season, bro.
Ooh, yep. Yeah. Unfortunate trend of that. Yeah, definitely.
So, also, by the way, Regency and all the other theaters, it's not that I have anything against you guys. It's just AMC, has seats that are fat people friendly. So
they should really market that. You need to tweet at them.
I told them, I'm like, hey, you got, I got the whole premiere and everything just because you make me feel right. I sit back, I recline, I don't have to worry about, the spacing and all kinds of stuff. So You had mentioned another film. What is it? Quince Till Infinity. What was that? What was that film about?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a movie I self-funded and produced last year, wrote and directed. And with the timing, I was literally in post-production with Bodies Will Tumble and Roll and Quince Infinity at the same time. So I actually have two films in the festival circuit right now. So with Quince Infinity, it's very much a love letter to my 15-year-old self who was forced to stand up in quinceañeras. And I was a big dweeb. I love punk rock music. I hated like I would have to go to these quinces that it was all these hood ass smooth talking guys that were trying to holler and hook up with the girls, and I was the dweeby nerdy guy that was all shy and quiet, just
The
like
corner guy.
yeah, I wanted to smoke weed and like listen to punk rock. So I wanted to tell a story about two rebellious teens that steal a car and escape a quinceañera, and it's just a really love letter to like teenage angst. You know, it's just two kids that are just living life while their family is chasing them down and trying to like catch them. So yeah, it's very like music, very punk rock, very fun. There's this show on Netflix called End of the Fucking World where these two teens.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
So
Okay.
I say it's like a Latino East LA like End of the Fucking World. Yeah, so it's a good time. It's a really good time. We have
Very cool. Very cool. So you started now, what is it? Hype Media Productions, which is what's doing a lot of these films. And then we mentioned that you were doing the social media brand coaching through a program called Self Hype. What inspired you to start that? And can you tell us a little bit about the Self Hype program?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So yeah, Hype Media House is all the films I'm making under my banner. We also do digital content for different brands and things like that. So I'm all about building a legacy. I'm all about like branding. I'm all about, making like what Jay-Z says, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And I always felt that. And I wanted to embody that. So like Hype Media House started when I was just making movies, but it's going to grow into something bigger, right?
Like a production. Yeah. Like
production company. It's going to grow with me. And same thing with the coaching program where this was a love sort of like podcasting for you later in life that I discovered, which was, I hit a low like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer now, where I felt stuck. I felt lost. I felt not happy. I'll be making viral videos every week, but personally, I just was not in a good place. And I had a panic attack, and I knew I had to make a change. And so I dove into personal development. I dove into coaching. I dove into mental health. I dove into therapy, something I never saw before. And I completely fell in love with it. And I started documenting my process. And a lot of people saw, wow, this man of color is vocalizing these things, sharing his perspective on these things. And people were like, this isn't like self-help. This is like more inclusive. This is more like of the culture. So like self-hype. And so I started adopting that, and everyone really, and I just completely dove in for like years. And someone brought up like, you should start a program, just like 8-week online, help people just get out of that funk, because I was able to
that's very cool.
Yeah. So I was able to go from that low of my life to getting to the point where I completely loved myself, dove into all my ventures, traveled the world, eventually quit my job, be my own boss, and do all, but love myself in the process. So pretty much I was able to create the program in 2019. And man, it has been the most beautiful experience ever. Like we have a whole community from people from Europe to the Philippines, from the coast to coast, the States, all over the world that have jumped in, quit their jobs, launched new careers, discovered their passions, lost 40, 50 pounds. Like, it has been such a beautiful experience, and it is right there next to filmmaking. And those are two things I'll do to the day I die, to help people on that personal level. And if you follow me on social, that's all I really focus on. Because if I'm going to be on social, I'm going to do that. Yeah.
I follow your account. You happy as hell all the time on that. And then hold on a second.
All the time.
And look, obviously it's social media. We all go through struggles and things like that.
Yeah.
But the message that's coming out of like your Instagram, when I'm sitting there, I wake up in the morning, the first thing I see is you giving some type of motivational type message. No, it's like really cool, because there's a lot of people there's a lot of people who need that. Like, you wake up in the morning, sometimes you just like, I don't want to do this day. I don't want to, go and do that. And then, you're getting on social media, and the first thing you see is like an Eli motivational message. You're like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna go and do this shit.
Yeah, hell yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But what's up with your TikTok? You give love advice on TikTok?
Oh, man, you do your research, man. You see, this is why you're good. Because you got all the technical research background, and now you're in front of the camera as a host, so you're a dangerous combination. because you
I
got
didn't
it
dive
all.
into the personal aspect of your life, but the stuff that I
you're
can
good.
see.
No, you're good, man. That's what I'm doing on TikTok. So, dude, it was so random. Because it was towards the tail end of my perolike career, and what is it? Maya Mario, who's phenomenal.
Oh,
She's
love her.
dude. She's
Love
been in the
her.
game since she was 16. She's helped
I
me
met
out
her
in
at
so
Alif.
many ways.
I
Oh
have
yeah,
the
you met her.
best. Yeah, I have the best picture on her. It's on my Instagram account. I have the best picture of her.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, it's so good.
Dude,
They're so much fun.
she's a genius. She's a genius in the digital game. I learned so much from her. But she was like, y'all, we have to switch to TikTok. We have to switch to TikTok. And I'm like, dude, that's how I know I was getting old. I'm like, man, I don't want to get on another
I don't want
app.
to do this.
My knees hurt. I don't want to, it's hard enough with this IG. My digital knees were hurting. So I was like, no. And then I was on a date and she was like super late and I was just sitting there bored. And I have a lot of friends that are girls and they always lean on me with advice because I give like a male perspective. I've been in this game for a minute, you know what I'm saying? But so I give my perspective on it, and they really appreciate it. I'm like, wow, this is really hardcore stuff. So my friend was going through this thing of like, oh my God, I don't know if he likes me or not. He does this, he does that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just going to I ran it for 3 minutes on TikTok, not thinking anything. My date showed up. I forgot about it. Wake up the next day, 100,000 people have seen this. I'm getting DMs from around the world. I'm getting DM screenshots of these text messages like, yo, I'm in this situation with this guy. Yo, I'm in this situation with I'm like, what? So that made it to like 1.52 million. And I just started replying to people. And now I'm like a dating guy. So
He's a dating guru. He's a movie director, producer / writer. Turns around self-hype coach. Like
yeah. So we're doing like a post-breakup academy with the coaching program now. So I'm like, how can we use this to serve people now? So I'm like, because I'm able to dive into the personal development aspect of heartbreak, dating, love. Because really, it's like you got to know yourself. You got to love yourself. And if all these people are telling me, yo, this guy sucks, but I keep going back to him. Let's not focus on him. Let's talk about you and why you are allowing this in your life. Let's break it down. So, because like I could tell you to leave him, but you might end up with just another one just like him.
Like that person.
So yeah,
that's the common trend, man. They go after the same. They don't break the pattern. Like they don't understand that they have a pattern.
And there's so many different aspects of life that attribute to love, and you got to love yourself. You got to be in a good place mentally, and that's what I try to advocate. I try to throw that in there with also, this is why he's not texting you back, and it kind of works out nicely. So yeah,
I have a concept for that. So for anybody who wants love advice, I have just a one-liner. It's one of those things where it's just like, you're not meant to make someone happy. You're meant to be happy, and then you share that with someone else that you feel you want to love. That's the way I think. So, because I think that we spend so much time trying to make somebody else happy in relationships. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that two people should be happy. And when they unite, they just kind of share that happiness and kind of like it feeds off of each other. So there you go. I'm 46, single, been divorced for a really long time. I haven't dated in forever. So I don't know why I'm not taking my own advice. But
you got knowledge, man.
So
just say that on the first date. And
just on it, I'll be like, "Are you happy?" And she's like, "Nah, okay, we ain't gonna make this happen because I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not a clown."
I love that. You got to know your worth, man. That's beautiful sentiment. That's exactly where my mind's at as well. That's where you got to be, man. For real.
I don't even know if I said that right. I know that I've said it quite a few thousand times, and I don't know.
That was eloquent.
I mean, the best way to think about it is, you both have to be be happy with yourselves. So that way you guys can just share that. I think it's very important. Not jump into something if you know that you're going to put somebody to somebody else. That's just me. That's my own advice.
That's really
all right. We're going to play a game. We just got deep. This whole interview just went like, wait, what the fuck? Bunch of therapists over here.
That was good, though. That was good.
We're going to play a game. Fast questions. Gets a little bit to know about you before we turn around and finish out here, because this has been like an awesome conversation. It's like living room talk. For people who don't pay attention to our podcast, that's literally what we have. It's like round table except better, or red table, whatever it is. We're not slapping people. Right. So, all right. So let's see. Fast questions. You ready?
Let's do it.
Favorite actor?
Bill Murray. Love
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Since I was a teenager, and I'm gonna get this tattoo now because I still want it. I don't have any tattoos. I want Bill Murray's face way up high on my inner thigh. I thought it was just a random stupid tattoo, but I just want Bill Murray's stenciled face. I'm gonna get it eventually, but
Okay, but why your high inner thigh?
Because it's weird. I don't know. It's a conversation starter. You know what I mean? Depending on who you're talking to. You know, so that's usually
he's wearing short shorts. Everybody's like, why is Bill Murray's chin hanging outside of your short shorts?
Exactly, just with a beard too, so a little bit of chin hair hanging out. But yeah, no, yeah, Bill Murray, man, he's the goat, dude. He's the goat. Like through the beginning of his career to now, it's just like it's amazing. Yeah,
that is crazy. So exclusive. Be on the lookout. Paparazzi is going to be doing that when he's all hyped up and stuff. Bill Murray on his inner thigh. Hot coffee or iced coffee?
Hot coffee.
You're a hot coffee guy.
Yeah, I think the iced coffee is like too new. It's like oat milk to me. It's like, what are we doing?
But what kind of hot coffee do you drink? Is it like Dunkin' Donuts hot coffee, or do you the small café cubano type hot coffee?
I don't drink a lot of coffee. If I'm gonna do coffee, I'll do just straight black coffee.
Ugh.
Yeah, straight black coffee. I know it's like I don't drink coffee because I'm a coffee guy. I drink coffee because I need it. It's
because you need it, like the caffeine to wake you up.
Yeah, and I'll drink it because it's like hot is like cozy. So I'll drink it because it's cozy or whatever. I don't know. I think I'll drink iced coffee if it's hot out, but if I have to choose, I mean, I'm OG, so I'm gonna do hot coffee.
All right.
Yeah, I think hot coffee is where it's at.
We're gonna just move on from that question. Black coffee. You come from Chicago and you're here now. You know, you're between you going back and forth. So what is it, hot or cold weather for you?
Dude, hot weather always. Like
hot weather, so much better, right?
Oh my god, yeah. I hate people.
That's why I moved the hell out of New Jersey. I couldn't deal with it.
Right, dude? Yeah. Oh my god, East Coast. Hell yeah, yeah. You guys are really going through it. Oh my god.
From like November, well now, with warming and everything, but from November to like May, it's like always terrible.
Seriously, like that's how it is in Chicago too. It's like it'll be like it'll be hard because it'll be like May. Yeah, it'll be like May, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Bro, you guys are crazy. I went to boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois. Like guys, it's intense.
Oh, it's February, like Arctic tundras.
Yeah, February and what is it? January, February, March. Get the hell out! Like, there's no way.
Yeah, it's miserable. It's miserable. That's why I say Chicago is the greatest city in the world in the summertime, because everyone's freezing their asses off until once it melts, the whole city is out. It's alive. It's popping. It's all that. So it's like if you can make it to the city like July, August, perfect. That's the perfect time. It's the greatest city in the world. There's no more fun city. Last
song that you streamed.
Ooh, I just came from the gym. What was I listening to? Dang, what was I listening to? It was like, hell, I can pull it up right now. Actually, hold up.
I was like, he's gonna have to go to his phone.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay. I'm like, damn, what was it? Plain Jane, ASAP Ferg. That was like,
there you go. See,
that's what's up. So I like to get hype. I got my hardcore hip hop music, or if I'm lifting weights, I'll do like AC/DC, like Black Sabbath stuff. Like,
everybody goes that route when you're doing weights. I don't think there's any. It's either that or you're going to like rap.
Yeah. It's what I have a mix. Yeah, I have a mix of that. I'm a big. You watch me for motivation. I watch The Rock for motivation. So
okay.
It's like not that you wake up every morning. I can't wait to see what Eli posted. But no. But yeah, I see The Rock.
No, I wasn't stalking your account, but man, your stuff like comes off on my feed. I guess it's because of how many times I liked it or something.
Dude, my friends are so annoyed at me. It's okay. It's right. They're like,
I mean, I was getting to that point. I muted you. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. First celebrity crush.
Oh man. Have you seen everyone gets weirded out by this one. Have you seen Married with Children?
Yes.
The wife.
That's not odd.
Is that odd?
That's not odd. No, I don't think that's odd.
To me. No?
No, because we grew up with Married with Children, and she was very attractive. It's not like it's just because everybody was focusing on the daughter. Nobody cared to know that the wife was hot as hell.
Yeah, she was so hot. And then and then they like the husband never wanted to like hook up with her or whatever, and I was like, And I'm like,
I'm like,
I'm like 8. I'm like, come on, what are you doing? You look at what you have. I'm like, geez, I don't even have pubes yet. I'm like, damn it, you know. But yeah, that was an odd one. That was the first one. Yeah, it's weird with me. They're like particular like loves that I have. It's like I forgot the actress, but she's like in the Mummy movies. She's like the love interest in the Mummy movies.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
mine is hard because I have to eventually interview her, and I don't want to be all awkward. So,
can you say like who it is? Like what?
Selma Hayek. Yeah.
Oh man. Mine. Oh yeah. Selma.
I'm gonna interview her one day, and I'm just going to be like, and she's gonna be like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Just give me these 30 seconds. I will be right back. I just need to get over this. You know,
just to stay
watching you." Oh, she is gorgeous. That is my first celebrity crush.
That's a good
one. Well, actually, no, she's my celebrity crush. My very first one was Winnie from Wonder Years, if you remember.
Oh yeah. That was a lot of people's. Yep.
Yeah,
I feel that.
She was cute. All right. So one of the weird questions is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
Oh, that's good. You know, no, I could see. I could see the problem.
The fact that we're deep contemplating this shit.
That tripped me up because I was like, it depends how you eat it. Because if you're eating the head off, that's like there's something weird going on. Because like you bite the head off, or you bite the legs tail,
or the heads
like,
or stuff.
That makes sense for me because I eat meat. You know what I mean? I like to. I'm like prey. That's my prey. You know? I'm like, but. Yeah,
Adriana from Latinx Therapy is going to be looking at this, and she's going to be sitting there going, "Wait, there's some deep-seated issues.
There's some deep-seated issues going on." I think if you're vegan, vegetarian, and you eat animal crackers, there's something going on. You need to go to Latinx.
Yeah, I don't know. Need to like. There's quite a few crackers that you can be going for. I don't know.
You know, never mind. I'm going to change my opinion. That is weird. It's wrong.
It's weird. There you go. It's wrong.
It's wrong. It's not right. I don't think it's right.
That's hilarious. All right, favorite sports team.
Favorite sports team, oh, man. I the only sport I watch is UFC. So I'm gonna go with like UFC fighters. He just won, Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz, okay.
Mexican, Latino, all that. If not, I'm Chicago family, so Cubs, Bears,
Bulls, one of those.
Bears, all that.
Bulls.
Yeah.
All right. If your life was a song title, what would it be?
I would say, man, you know what? With these questions, you just say the first thing that pops in my head. I'm gonna say, "Keep on rocking in the free world." That's
a good song title. Damn. What?
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Free world. Yeah. I think
there you go.
It, man.
That's a good one.
I'm not.
These were supposed to be fast questions. They were nowhere near fast because we had to talk. We had to talk.
That's all they're talking about. It. Yeah, that's all they're talking.
The animal crackers one has got me dying though because I'm just picturing it. It's so funny. All right, guys, dude, thank you for joining us here, man. This was actually a trip, man. If somebody wanted to follow you, where would they go?
Yeah, man. My socials all the same. It's Eli Vazquez, ITSELIVAZQUEZ, all around social. Follow me on that. My IG has all my links. We have the Self-Hype podcast. We have my TikTok dating advice. We have, the Self-Hype program as well, so you can learn more about us. And I'm super laid back and chill. Like, shoot me a DM. Let's chat. Let's talk. If it's coaching, if you want to learn more about the industry or whatever it is, life is short. Let's keep rocking in the free world. So,
Yeah, and if you want to find out more about Eli, just make sure that if you're watching this, just go to the website. We have his entire bio. You can go, directly link up to the program and be able to find out more about it. And yeah, Eli, man, it was great to have you on the show. I had a feeling this would be a great discussion, and it turned out to be that. It was really fun. I really enjoyed having you on here, man.
Yeah, dude, it was so fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we were able to make it happen, dude. I really appreciate you bringing me into your space, so it means a lot.
All right, guys, thank you for watching the special interview with Eli Vazquez, part of our Revolution Hispanic Heritage 30-day extravaganza virtual event brought to you by Todo Wafi. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Todo Wafi and continue to be a part of the 30-day celebration that we have. The schedule is on the website. You can catch the entire schedule at www.throwthewaffle.com. I'm Rafael. That is Eli. And we are out.
Desde Nicaragua hasta Costa Rica, con esta canción todo el mundo se identifica. Llamen a los chilenos y a los cubanos, llamen a Puerto Rico y a los mexicanos, que ya se armó la rumba. Desde Panamá hasta Ecuador, vámonos a Perú y luego hasta Salvador. Que se escuche en Brasil y Argentina. Yo quiero un grito de mi gente latina y levantaré mi bandera, estando en mi país o estando allá afuera, porque para mí, mira, no existen fronteras.